Hi there, this is Amy, and I don't know if you saw the video from 2 days ago. I was at a holistic fair, and it went really well, so I kind of wanted to share a few things, and also like what the heck with the Cancer full moon, and Mercury in retrograde, and Venus in retrograde. They have kicked my ass. So today I am full in comfy wear with my party pony, and just self-care because I think I was given some extra energy to work through the fair, and now it's back to normal. So anyway, so hold on with me. We're gonna go get Bosley. He wants in, and otherwise he'll just keep barking at us. Say hi to Bosley. Beautiful light. Anyway, here we are, back again. First of all, holy cow, it was such a cool experience yesterday at the fair because I got to do some different kind of things. Normally when I go to a holistic fair, I was showing up as a healer, an energy healer. I use rainbow energy to do healing work because color has vibration and frequency, and it is intelligent, and it knows where to go. It knows how to interact with your cells and your energy system and all that good stuff. And I'm a little lazy, so that works out well for me. I can just call in what is needed. So that's just a piece of what I do. I kind of use it as a tool in my tool belt, which is why the readings I did yesterday weren't traditional like tarot readings or things like that. They were more I call it a mixed bag, because I don't know what you need and you may not know what you need. So when we sit down together and I connect with the energy, it's a little bit easier for me to work with you, and we can find and work with other people and find out where they're at, where they're going, what they need to shift. And a lot of times tears release emotion. Tears are low vibes leaving the body, and a lot of people aren't always comfortable crying, and it's such a sacred thing to do. And I'd never suggest resisting that. If you feel like crying, just do it. I've shown up in the grocery store. I actually went to In-N-Out Burger the other day, and I was just crying my eyes out. I had left a movie, and I had gotten some bad news before the movie, and I held it in until dinner. And then I drove through In-N-Out Burger, and the sweet guy was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be fine." And he handed me my burger, and I just cried and ate my burger. And that's happened in the grocery store before, but it's, life goes on. So I can cry at home. I can cry just anywhere. And I think it's just really sweet, actually, to just let loose. And so my point is I had more people cry at my little table yesterday and the day before than I had anything. And next time I'll bring a box of tissue, because I didn't really know it was going to go that way. Except I did. I had a little hint at the salon. I didn't even think about that until just now. But like, intuition works funny sometimes if you're listening. It's very subtle. But one of my clients asked me if I had any Kleenex. And I'm like, no, I need to get that. And of course, I didn't think about it. But I thought I needed it at the salon, but I didn't realize I was actually going to need it at the show. So anyway, being there amongst all these energy healers, and it really changes the frequency of the whole space that we're in. And energy is really, I would say, high frequency in the fact that it's more movable. Frequency, high and low frequency. Low frequency is just kind of dense. And in this place where you have all these people working to move energy and stuff like that, and everybody kind of is open to that, it really allows things to shift really easily. And so it's really kind of cool. And in my downtime, I was writing. So I'm like, hey, why not? Like, you're in a high frequency place. Might as well, tap in and use that opportunity to just really be kind of lifted in my creative space. So, and the way I look at that is like, if you have an energy of like, I don't know, I would call them rays of light, maybe even call it like sunbeams or whatever. It's hard to imagine. They come through glass really easily, and they can come and mix with each other, but trying to get a sunbeam to move through furniture or even through a person, right? The density of a body makes it more tricky for energy to move through it. And it's a little bit kind of like if your beliefs don't allow you to believe that things can shift that easily. So it's kind of the thoughts and then the physical form, and a lot of those things just require additional time unless you're really open and you don't have any blocks of thought. I think that's how miracles really do happen, without doubt. So anyway, I'm in this beautiful space and I get to meet all of these really cool people. I met a young lady who's 12, really going through something she didn't understand and she didn't know what to do with. Her parents love her dearly and they were trying their best to hold space for her, but I could help her understand a little bit more about what's going on with her possibly, and that makes me feel so good. There's so many struggling youngins out there, and a lot of sensitive beings, and kind of sensitive is the new strong. We've been in a world that's probably had the hearts blocked a lot. Like we've all had to build up calluses to get through a lot. And the new kids coming in, God's like, no more. I'm going to bring in these sensitive beings so that the world can shift. And now we're adapting to that, and we're finding new ways to work together. Because as adults and older, we have some wisdom about how to get through the earth. And these new ones have, the sensitivity to feel all the things that they're feeling, and they don't know what to do with all those. And we weren't really trained, my generation, and even the generations before, we're not trained to deal with emotions. We were like, here, oh, you're upset, have a cookie. You're upset, go shopping. You're upset, take some medication. Not that medication is bad. There's just a lot of other things you can get to first before you have to get the fix. And anyway, and then there was, just a lot of tears. I'm saying I have 4, 5, 6 people probably cry at my table. And it's so sad that I'm proud of that, but I really am. When you can hold space for someone like that and, they feel open enough in a room full of people to share with you some of that very tender, very sacred moments. It's just really cool. So grateful. So I've got a mixed bag of magic and I got to use it this weekend. So that's really cool. And I also have been dealing with a lot of heartache, lots of heartache. It started right at the beginning of that Venus retrograde, and then Mercury went retrograde, and then there was I believe a Cancer full moon. And oh my gosh, I had no idea what I was about to get into, but the tears started for something unrelated to something that ended up exploding my relationship with my children. One of my daughters in particular. And I had no idea that was coming, but it was a very important experience for both of us. I think I have been using this word source a lot lately, like where you source your joy and your happiness and your acceptance and your stability and your safety. And if it's not from the source of all creation, then you probably can feel really out of balance really easily. And that's some of my codependent stuff. It's kind of some of my inner child wounding stuff that I've been working on for quite some time now, actively for 2 years, because before I was like, inner child stuff, what the heck is that? And now I'm like, oh my God, that's what that is. And none of us are getting out of here unscathed. I mean, I have been trying my damnedest to not create wounds for my daughters, although I have been saying, you guys, I'm sorry, I'm messing y'all up at some level. There's something I've done. There's probably a multitude of things that I've done that I have no idea that I've done that will create unhealthy habits for you, or relationship programming or things like that. But I'm trying harder than I can even explain. And that's some of it, right? I also trust that I'm the perfect parent for my kids. And my belief system is that they chose me. They chose their father. And their father couldn't be more opposite of me. He's more religious. I'm more spiritual. He's about control. I'm about allowing. And, chaos without control is not really a good fit. But control doesn't need to be, there's just a loving way to be controlling. And I don't think we're there yet. I think we're getting closer all the time. And the control that comes from a wounded heart is going to look like that out of balance control. And too much freedom without like self-love, in my case, looked like, it looked like I was allowing probably my daughters more freedom than they probably even felt comfortable with. They needed some level of feeling safe, and they apparently did not get that from me. As much as I tried to be different, it's where I was. It's where my wounds have led me, and perfectly. I had kind of a double dose of daddy issues and a solid dose of mommy issues. I have a belief that the father wound leads you back to the creator of all things and your connection to that. And I feel like the mother wound leads you back to the earth. And it's just really kind of a beautiful thing. Come to find out, this Cancer full moon business was all about the matriarchy and the patriarchy. And at 100% touched on that wound for probably every person on the planet. Did it show up at 10%? Did it show up at 90%? Only you will know that. But for me, I was very in alignment with that particular alignment. And I couldn't be more grateful. My heart has been busted. I have felt, I had a bankruptcy a couple of years ago, 5. And I've been trying to buy a house, and it seemed like every angle I tried to make that manifest, I was defeated. I just felt like I'm never going to be able to play this game. I've done this with the love game too, by the way. I was like, I'm never going to be able to play the game of love. I don't understand how people even get in relationship, because I don't understand, the 3-day rule, and don't give too much power away, and, make them, don't be the runner, don't be the chaser. I'm like, I don't know how to I only know how to be the way I am. And I'm hoping in most cases for communication. That's my, if I'm with you and we're hanging out and I do something, talk to me. Tell me, oh my God, that's so weird, or that seems weird to me, or that's triggering, or I love it. I love it so much. And I haven't necessarily been able to participate that way in a lot of my relationships, but I'm hoping to move that direction. So anyway, with Mercury being in retrograde, Mercury is all about communication. I'm not trying to push with my daughter, and I'm hoping to allow her own feelings. I don't even think she understood how angry she was at me. She's been kind of not very nice to me for a while. And I allowed it, and that's some of my own stuff, because I understand her a little bit more than, I don't understand her completely. That's never going to be possible. But I felt like I have understood her reasons for being emotional the way she was. And so in allowing that too much, it really didn't serve me. And I think it's what they are calling the shadow side. I haven't always understood what the shadow side means. But it's kind of the things you don't want to look at. They're the things that you just have trouble witnessing or visualizing even at that point. They're subtle. It's dark probably. But, a lot of it's unconscious, and there's not a lot you can do about it sometimes. You can want all day long to know what you need to heal, but until it's time for you to heal it, I don't even know that's possible to overdo that, because, man, thank God for time. If I had to heal everything in one moment, at one go, I think I would have exploded already. Thank goodness it's like peeling an onion. I've been a little impatient. Interestingly enough, I don't like to rush at the salon, and I don't like to rush at healing. And when I was at the fair, I did a donation-based system with no time limit. I sat with one girl for an hour plus, and then I sat with someone else for 15 minutes. And they both were very important. I think allowing that, it felt really good for me because those who can afford it, if they're listening to their heart, if they are in a place of abundance, they can offer more. People that are really struggling and don't have money to really extra money at the moment, they don't feel like they're missing out on something that could really help them. And I would never want to do that. If I have something that helps, I'm always going to want to share it. But finding the balance in that and knowing, when to give and when not to give, man, that's part of the wounding. Mine have been deep levels of abandonment wounds, and I have had to work really diligently on all of those things. And it comes down to not abandoning myself in all the ways, and financially, in love, with my children, with my home, with my work, with in all the ways, diet, your health. It's really fascinating. I love astrology so much. And when you think about an astrology chart, there's 12 facets, 12 areas of life. And you have to kind of look at each one of them when you're looking at abandonment and is it family? Is it friends? Is it career? Is it money? Is it intimacy? Is it in the world? Is it in my spirituality? Is it, there's all these ways. And it's just truly fascinating when you see how it all kind of comes together. So anyway, my heart chakra is still, I can feel it digging in. I am what I call energy sensitive. And it's fascinating to me because they say heart palpitations is something that happens during menopause. But I feel if you're experiencing that, sometimes you might just be energy sensitive and not realize it's just the heart chakra being activated, cleared out, cellularly realigned. And, obviously go to a doctor if you're really concerned about that. I'm not saying don't go to the doctor for that, but I think a lot of times we really bypass the body's natural ability to shift. And I'm just learning how to do that. I tried to do this video once already and I had to redo it. So if I'm repeating myself, bonus. But when I went through my bankruptcy, it was very devastating. It's like all these areas of my life have been collapsing to be rebuilt. And there's that story of building houses on sandcastles. And yep, that's what I was doing. Honestly, my bankruptcy was a big part of trying to manifest the life that I thought I wanted to have, not the one that I was attracting. And so it's a reaching out and actively doing things instead of allowing it to be brought to me. Still more abandonment wound stuff that I've been working on. And so the bankruptcy happened, and I had a 3,200 square foot house as a single mom that I was trying to keep up with, going $500 to $600 a month in the hole every month. That just kind of snuck up on me. And then one or two big expenses, and then bam, I can't do it anymore. And so I had to file for bankruptcy. I moved out of a really lovely house in a really lovely neighborhood into I'm going to say it's a good neighborhood, but the house was not great at all. And I had to kind of deal with what was available to me for a lot more money than I felt I should be paying. But it's okay. I did it, and I got to the point where I was like, I did a haircut today. I can buy groceries. And it began like that for a couple of weeks until I built a level of trust with the universe, with God, source, energy, whatever I call it, Gus, Guss, because none one of those words works perfectly for me. So I got to use all of them. And so I had to develop this trust that I will always be provided for, even if it's the smallest of things, like food. Food is a very important thing, but it doesn't have to be a steak dinner. It can be nutritious and it can be simple. So I moved into that space, and then, slowly started rebuilding and then I moved again to another rent house. So I went from a 3,200 square foot house to a 1,700 square foot house, now to a 1,500 square foot house. And now I'm looking again to move. I was hoping to buy a home, and I do not fit into the system. And it stinks, but it's also great because I kind of don't want to fit into the system. I don't know how to work around it yet, but currently I was just told I could not buy a home. And it honestly broke my heart at least twice. Funny because it's Mercury, it's the Venus retrograde, which is the heart, and the heart is the home a little bit. So fascinating how that kind of links together. But it busted my heart wide open twice because I feel incapable of being part of the system. I felt incapable of accomplishing all the things that a 52-year-old woman I assumed and thought should have. And turns out though, it's once I release all the emotions, all the thoughts, all the junk, now I'm like, okay, cool. This is where I am. There's no emotion around it now. Now I can find another rent house that's smaller and more affordable, and begin to work more on what I really want to be working on, not working to pay the rent. And so I'm starting to limit where my money needs to go and allow it to be drawn in naturally, not where I'm working so hard. I was working super hard to get love from a partner. I was working super hard to even not get love from my children, but I was sourcing them. I keep using that term as sourcing. And I, again, don't know if I did it in this video or the other, but it's like I was sourcing my acceptance from my children, like I did it in the love relationships. I've done it at work. Am I good enough? Can I say no? If I can't say no, then I'm not in a healthy place, and I am sourcing my freedom, my safety, my acceptance, my love from outside sources. So again, sourcing here into here. Everything that I source from out of here, outside of myself, is unstable. I love to talk about movies all the time. So if you ever run into me, let's talk movies. Because the Matrix comes up almost every time. But I envision that scene of Neo unplugging from all of that stuff. And that's kind of where I feel like I am now. And my kids were the hardest one to unplug because I enjoyed and I continue to enjoy that relationship so much. But it needs to shift. It needs to shift into adult relationships. And let me go back to my Neo reference for a second. And at this time, I'm in that triage space of where he ends up getting acupuncture for a while because he is reassimilating to a new reality, or assimilating to a new reality. I don't think that, anyway, you know what I mean. And so, but this is super passionate for me about relationships with your children. That phrase, "You're my baby, you'll always be my baby." It crawls all over me. I do not love that because I want to be autonomous. I want to be a sovereign being. And as soon as someone has an attachment to me, or I have one to them, if they're sourcing me or I am sourcing them for their connection, it ain't gonna work because it just won't last. It'll work. I call it functioning dysfunction. It'll work, but it probably won't be super healthy. So my children have offered me this amazing gift. My parents have offered me this amazing gift. All of these people in my life offer me amazing gifts all the time, through rejection, through love, through friction, through, just all of it. And man, it's starting to feel really good. Even though I don't have very much, I have my favorite things. In a house, I have more and more of what I love and less of what I don't. And I'm working on 6 books, right at this moment, a little at a time. And I have lots to share, as you can tell on my videos. They're probably all over the place. So thanks for listening. I am an Enneagram 9, and they do suggest that you let your Enneagram 9 speak whenever possible. It may take a while for us to get there, but we do get there. And I'm eternally grateful, even though I whine and cry a lot and stomp my feet and fuss to the lovely beings that support me as well. I am, at the end of the day, grateful for everything that I have witnessed and become and am learning all the time. And I imagine it just keeps going. So thanks for watching. I have a website called Spiralhigher.online. And my email address is listed below. If there's any way I can help you, I'm happy to be your guide. I'm doing donation-based stuff right now, so I'm trying to set myself free from the system. And if you want to help me do that, I can in turn help you get free also. And so if you want to work with me or just chat, happy to help. So thanks for watching. Hope you're doing well. Sending love and magic, and catch you later.